Welcome in, everybody, to Game 3 of 4 here for the Tennessee Community College Athletic Association Baseball Tournament 2019. Game 3 of 4 for Day 2 of the tournament. The wild cards occurring yesterday. 2 games occurring earlier with the final results 9-2. The Pioneers falling to the Senators, and the Tigers beating the Chargers 8-5. So Chattanooga State and Walters State will face off in the quarterfinals of the winners bracket. Columbia State and Volunteer State will face off in the first round of the losers bracket. And we've got a good game for you for Game 3 of 4. The Cleveland State Cougars facing off against the Dyersburg State Eagles. And what's even more interesting, because Cleveland State, they the last regular season series they had was against the Eagles, and they were 2-1 record in that series. So an intense matchup, especially with their starting pitcher for today. Ethan Walls, with a 4.45 ERA, 47 strikes, 14 walks in 12 appearances, and pitching right now, and you see it's an 0-2 count right now. Ryan Inches with a 4.55 ERA. 80 strikeouts in 12 appearances and 16 walks as the starting pitcher here for the Cleveland State Cougars. So that, and against the current batter, Blake Muchetin, this is one of those matchups that the Eagles want vengeance for losing 2-1 as it goes to left field, catching out. But this is one that the Eagles really want vengeance for.
Yeah, really, the Eagles, they're coming off of winning streak right now. Losing
Cleveland
streak.
coming off of the two-winning streak against the Eagles.
Yeah, that's right. And so they're really looking for revenge right here. They really are. Since they're up to bat first, they're going to be pitching hitting one of their best players right here. One of them being Blake McCutcheon, was actually the first batter that you saw that flew out to left field. He is one of their better hitters. 8 doubles and triples so far within the season.
There's a pop-up to the right side. Is it going to stay in play? Doesn't matter because the catch is made, and an out, number 2. So the Eagles, the designated away team, the Cougars designated home team. So we are about to see what they can do when their backs are against the wall with 2 outs.
Yeah, and we got Cleveland State's ace pitcher up on the mound right now with the 4.55 ERA. He's only given up 7 home runs. That's pretty high for what we have been seeing this year.
And there's another one sending out. Right field catch, nobody on base in the first inning for the Eagles. The Cougars, we're about to see their batting game in just a moment. First time we're about to see Cleveland State bat in the postseason. And not even before the first pitch, they have a quick meeting with the catcher and second baseman for Dyersburg. And Mendenhall up to bat with a .352 average and leads the team, has an on-base percentage of .454, leads the team in stolen bases with 24. Has 3 home runs on the season, and he's against Bryson Lonsbury on the mound with a .221 ERA, 23 strikeouts, and sends one deep into center field, and the catch made. And that's why his slugging percentage is .476.
Yeah, he's really good at the plate. He's had 3 home runs, 2 triples, and 5 doubles already within this regular season. But the one thing I really want to focus on right now for him is actually his actual stolen base numbers right there. He is leading 24. He's only been caught stealing 3 times, but it's still a good number. It's a good fraction for what they have, and they already know they're going to use him a lot. So if I was Dyersburg, I want to get him out as fast as possible.
There's a swing and a miss for Lance Dockery, who has a .619 slugging percentage, and behind Mendenhall as the team leader of stolen bases, he has 16, and he's only been caught stealing once. He's been at bat 4 more times than Dockery, with 3 triples, and leads the team with 17 doubles. So don't be surprised if you see an attempted base hit here deep so he can get a double. And there's a grounder to second baseman. Out there, second out for the Cougars. He did try to ground it there to potentially at least get to first base, but it's one of the major reasons why he's leading with 17 doubles.
Before the game started, I was actually watching Dyersburg of some of their warm-ups, and one of the things that they were doing is that they're just lightly throwing the ball to each other, and they're working on one of 2 things. They were working on the fielder's ground ball, and they were also working on making sure to get on top or through the baseball, which will actually help them a lot in this game. Just so that there's no intentions of pop fly or anything like that, because I know that's like one of the big things that kills coaches are pop flies. If you hit a hard ground ball, they're never going to get mad. But if you hit a fly ball, I mean, usually it's an out.
There's one send in, goes out foul. So the 0-2 count for Dockery is. We might see a repeat of the Senators here, where a team is just swinging for the fences.
Well, Cleveland's really got the higher advantage right here, and the only reason why I say that is because they're full of adrenaline right now. Because their last games, they beat Dyersburg twice within the season, so they already know what to expect from them, and it just helps them out a lot that they're already playing them again, just so that they can be able to recap of what they did the last time out. And bring it into this game. Dyersburg's just going to have to refocus on here. See what they did wrong from the last time out when they faced Cleveland State, and they're really just going to have to adjust and improve on what they're missing. And right now, they're doing a good job from the first inning. It's been 2 up, 2 down at the moment. Pitching's been doing good, and they're really just going to have to compete out there with Cleveland State. But we all know that they can do it.
Yeah, the last full series games of the regular season for the Cougars was at Dyersburg as he gets one past the pitcher. It's out there. And we head to the second inning, but the last time was a 2-1 series victory over the Eagles. So we head to the top of the second. Top of the second inning, and as we were saying before the break, Cleveland State, they had their last regular season series against the Eagles. First game on Friday was a loss 5-3, and their doubleheader on Saturday was a win 6-3, and then a win 5-4. So they kept some close games with the Eagles, and like you said, Austin, they're on an adrenaline rush, trying to make it win 3 in a row against the Eagles and advance to the next round.
Yeah, like I said, Cleveland is on a adrenaline rush, but Dyersburg is too. I mean, they are the even though they're the lower seed at this moment.
Deep left, gets past the fielder. He's going to go for the double.
Look, and that just got the whole momentum up in the dugout right there. Everybody's on their feet in the Dyersburg dugout. It is really incredible what these kids can do over here, and that's his 10th double of the season right now. So, I mean, like I said, even though Cleveland State is on an adrenaline rush, so is Dyersburg. I mean, they know what this is going to be consisted of. They're going to want the payback, so they probably got motivated before the game even started, and they probably had like a little pep talk or a little motivational speak from their coach. Just something to get them fired up, and that's what produced a good, hard base hit, double, to get it started here in a second.
Just outside for Luis Rodriguez, who has a 306 average, on-base percentage of 393, and he's so a strike called on the first one, and he's got a runner on second base and manages to get a foul there. The 0-2 count. And Rodriguez throughout the season, of course, struck out 24 times. He had 147 at-bat appearances, but interesting enough, he has 45 hits, so that's probably what they're going for with this order, since they got a double now, is just to get the hit and potentially to send Gilliam home.
Yeah, it's going to be like that for every player here. Now it's going to be
and there's a hit to right field, going back towards the wall, makes the catch, but he's going to tag second and head over to third. Slides in, is he safe? Yes.
that was a heck of a throw from the right fielder right there.
You got cannons for arms on the Cleveland State side. Now Josh Nellis, the DH, coming up with a 322 average, 146 at-bats. And he is tied for the team lead at 5 home runs with Rodriguez. And with a runner on third, swing and a miss. Potentially poised here to send him home, so expect something deep on this play from Nellis.
I wouldn't expect something deep. I mean, a line drive up the middle, short hop in the center fielder. I mean, that's just going to be enough right there. Get it past the pitcher, hit it through the gap. One of those two is just really going to be helpful in this situation, especially for Dyersburg, just to be able to put a run up on the board.
And here's the left-handed pitch. Goes in for 1-2. Lynch, of course, he had 80 strikeouts on the regular season and 7 home runs, most allowed by any of the pitchers of Cougars. And to the left, it evens up the count. He's had 12 appearances, 5-5 record when he's been on the mound. And tied for the most hits allowed with 71 with his fellow teammate Ethan Walls. There goes low for a full count. You can hear the Eagles chanting from the dugout. They are incredibly hyped up.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they know the situation right here, and they know that they can do it too when it comes to this situation.
There's a grounder, gets to the third baseman, tossed to home, caught between the bases, and tries to dive in and out. So after the full count, safe on first, 2 outs.
Now batting number 38, the first baseman, Tylen Johnson.
Now Tylen Johnson wearing the jersey number 38. Tylen Johnson with a .264 batting average, 125 appearances. And even though there's a runner on first, he does have 11 RBIs and 9 doubles. Could try to get his teammate to go over to third or farther. Got a little bit under there for the 1-2 count. Here's the 1-2 pitch.
That was a great breaking ball right there.
And struck him out, heading to the bottom of the second. The Cougars are up. Bottom of the second inning. The score still tied at 0 as the Cougars are up to bat
Leading up for the
with
Cougars, the first baseman, number 34, Marshall
Hernandez, who is at a .289 average on 114 at-bats, 33 hits, so keeping himself interesting there, and 18 RBIs as well. That's the 1-1. Here's the 2-1. Hernandez has been walked 9 times, struck out 24 separate occasions. So potential for him to be walked on 3-1. Sets one to left field. It's
Fair.
Stays fair. Heading for second. The outfielder can't pick it up off the wall. Stays for the double. Make that double number 10 for Marshall Hernandez.
just a great rip down line right there. I mean, every hit that we've seen that's been down the line has always been an automatic double. There's only been one time this whole tournament where it's been more than a double, and that was actually from the Columbia State game. Dorian Dorian Berry, I believe it was, that had a triple on there, and that line has actually been like one of the most top hits that we've seen so far.
Grounder straight to the second baseman. Catch there and sacrifice out to get the man on third. So now a potential scoring play coming up for the Cougars to strike first. And they put trust in their man, Andrew Carpenter, whose on-base percentage is .443 out of 120 at-bats. He's managed to get 38 hits. So great potential for first run to occur here. It's Carpenter. Lets a pitch go to the outside. And again, Lonsbury's ERA is .221. He's allowed 29 hits. He's made 13 appearances throughout the season. And with this pitch, foul. Here's the 1-1. It's a wild pitch for 2-1. Sends all the way out to the souvenir section. Hospitality and souvenirs. You were saying you wanted to potentially get a game ball at some point.
I always want a game ball.
It's probably we'll probably have to get it after all is said and done.
I know.
Because with this mesh here, we're not going to get any sent up here unless it's a really odd deflection. I had that happen to me at a Sounds game one time. We were right behind home plate. Bounced over the mesh, then had an awkward bounce back up. Went straight to a buddy of mine that was sitting with us. Not sure if it's going to happen here because we don't have as much of the incline as the First Tennessee Park has.
It's a game when I was in high school. Every time we wanted a game ball, we would wait till after a game, saw a brand new ball still in the wrapper, and we just take one. Then our coach found out.
Oh, yeah, that probably wasn't good for you as Carpenter sends it deep to center, and first run of the game is to the Cougars. And that you talk about how the adrenaline is rushing through the Cougars. You can see it on this replay once it loads up.
Yeah, it was just a great solid base hit up the middle, right back to the pitcher, and you already know that's going to get Cleveland State going throughout, at least throughout this inning. They got their first run on the board, and they're looking to get more while they're at it.
So, foul called as Carpenter was trying to steal second. So Brock Browning up on the plate. He's only been up to bat 34 times. But through that time, he has a .265 average, .375 on base. And make that a 0-2 count. Here's the 0-2, tags first. So we've seen so far in this tournament through 4 games, we've only seen 2 home runs and 1 triple. We've seen plenty of doubles. As it's sent deep to right field.
Down.
And
That's fair.
it's rolled fair. Couldn't make the catch. And safe on third. Carpenter safe on third. It's a first and third situation.
Amazing hit down the line. Wait to at least get enough power just to keep it fair. And also a great job by the right fielder, number 7. I mean, he did the best he can, putting his body on line. That was Christian Martin out there. I mean, he did the best he could, and it just came up short. So there was no problem with that. It was just a good base hit all around, and way to put a runner on third.
Dyersburg's coach Robert White is having a visit with all the infielders to make sure to keep their head in the game with runners on first and third. As Lonsbury has to pitch in a potential scoring situation. Now Alex Coulter with 61 at-bats has a .213 average. With 7 RBIs, potential to make it RBI number 8. Goes for the bunt. Bounces past the pitcher, and that's run number 2. Is safe on first.
Great bump right there. Great placement. Way to be out the shovel pass from second baseman to first. That's just something you don't see every day.
And as you see the bunt here.
Just missed the pitcher right there and just able just to be at the first baseman. First baseman almost got him too, and that was just great footwork, but just couldn't get there fast enough.
Now Rhett Baldwin back up to the plate for the 152nd time this 2019 season. Fouls the bunt. So now runners on first and second with only 1 out. Baldwin with a .245 average, .337 on base. He's been struck out 29 times. And Carpenter has managed to score on the last one. And wild pitch, tags back second. There's attempted bunt, goes foul, 1-2. Baldwin has been struck out 29 times. He's also been walked 22 times. Faces a 1-2 count here in the bottom of the second. Outside, even count. Baldwin leads the team as well on 7 home runs, slugging percentage of .477. Here's the 2-2. Outside, full count now. Excuse me, they ruled a strikeout there. So now 2 outs for the Cougars.
That looked a little outside too, but that was great frame work by the catcher right there.
Now Tucker Mendenhall comes back up. the .352 average going into this game. And as we mentioned earlier, leader of stolen bases, only caught 3 times stealing. So one of the people, once he gets on base, you don't want, or more so one of the people you don't want to get on base because of his quick feet. He's rolling a strike. Still runners on first and second with 2 outs. And in all, a slugging percentage of .476 and has 3 home runs and 51 hits out of 145 appearances. Faces the 0-2. And wild pitch, toss to first, and that's out. Nothing too much for the Cougars to complain about after the second inning. They now lead it 2-0.
For the Cougars, 2 runs on.
Start of the third inning, the Eagles trying to get some runs on the board. Cougars had a stellar bottom of the second with 2 runs.
19, the left fielder, Cameron Berry.
Now Cameron Berry steps up, gets a strike to start out the third inning. And Cameron Berry, out of 93 appearances, has had a .323 batting average. He's managed to, he has 19 times that he's been struck out, but 2 doubles in that. So one of those players that is able to get some decent stats up, but hasn't had the best of luck throughout the season.
Nah, he's more of a base hit hitter, as you can tell from his average. I mean, he's only had 9 doubles, but he has a .323 average. That just lets you know that he's able to place balls where he wants them to go. He's not a big hitter, but he is a confident hitter.
Speaking of which, there's a
Foul ball.
ground ball that goes foul. Count 1 and 2. And hit to the left side going out, and catch made for the first out of the third.
Now batting victorious.
Here's a pitch down the middle, foul out. Excuse me, foul up to the mesh. And that is Tommy Brosnan, whose 257 average on 74 at-bats has led him to struck out 27 times. And only 2 doubles from that, but 3 home runs. So with his average there, more one of the base hitters as well. But strikes out there.
Now batting number
So
3.
nobody has gotten on base yet this inning.
McCutcheon.
And get to Blake McCutcheon. 331 average with 166 appearances. .424 on base. And McCutcheon makes a grounder, leap catch by the third baseman, and they are shut out for 3 innings heading to the bottom of the third. The 2019 Tennessee Community College Athletic Association Baseball Tournament is sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, Lister Hill Credit Union, Hampton by Hilton, and Alpha Graphics of Franklin.
The Cougars, number 15, the left fielder, Lance Dockery.
Lance Dockery, the leadoff for the bottom of the third. Still up against Lonsbury. And strike there. Again, Lonsbury a 2.21 ERA with 23 strikeouts and 8 walks. No home runs allowed on 13 times on the mound. A grounder up the first base line. Easy out. So next, Marshall Hernandez.
Now batting number 18, the shortstop, Johnny Hickman.
Excuse me, Johnny Hickman up to bat next. With a 399 average and on base 491. He's been struck out 31 times, but 5 home runs, 10 doubles, and 1 triple. And gets a grounder straight to the shortstop. Won't get to first base in time. Now Marshall Hernandez up. He was on deck. Was 289, 33 hits, 9 doubles on strike one. And Hernandez, of course, another one of those base hitters with his 9 doubles. Had a little bit of luck with a triple and 3 home runs. So out of 114 appearances, he's more one of the base hitters for.
Yeah, and Dyersburg really knows that, because if you could tell right here, right now, Lonsbury has thrown him 3 breaking balls in a row, and they've been catching him off guard. He just swung and missed at a great breaking ball. So they're really just going. That's the 4th one, so they know what he's capable of. They know they've kind of found his weakness, but the main thing is that they're really just going to have to still attack him some point or another. Just kind of throw in the fastball here and there, just kind of keep him off balance. And really, it's just going to be whether or not if he can locate his pitch perfectly or not.
The umpire on the cease play to send some players who were watching the game back over to the bullpen. It looks like the Eagles players will view the action elsewhere. Tipped behind home plate.
Yeah, Lonsburg's not throwing them anything hard right now because they know the damage that this person can do. And really, I don't blame him. I mean, he does have a 289 average, but still he has had 3 home runs and a triple, which in this case it's super effective in this game. No matter what you see, even if you have 1 year, you automatically know that he can do it. It just shows on here that he's consistent of doing this somewhere somehow.
Full count, 2 outs.
Oh,
Sends it to left field. It heads foul. Out of the park, just not within the lines.
almost 4 home runs for him. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like the only bad thing about a breaking ball pitch is that if you leave it up and it's going to fall into the strike zone, someone can easily hit it, and he almost proved that right there. I mean, he needs to focus more on setting his locations just like that so
Yep.
they can get ground balls.
Got a grounder, but not enough for him to be safe on first. End of 3, 2-0, Cleveland State. Christian Martin leads off for the Eagles. A 380 average. That almost looked like it was right down the center there.
Yeah, but that all speed from him, I mean, that just kind of locked him up just a little bit.
And grounder goes outside of the foul line. And Martin has been struck out 26 times. He So 473 for on base, and part of the reason they get him on base, he has 5 stolen bases. He's been caught 3 times, but it's part of the reason there, especially with 16 doubles. He's one of those players that puts himself in a position to get it run.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he has a high batting average, and that's something that you can almost not teach. I mean, keeping a high batting average is just consistency, which is always hard to teach. It's just your own improvement on how you can hit the ball and everything. And the only problem is being consistent is that a pitcher is never consistent, so it's always hard to adjust from here to there. Like just as Cleveland State's pitcher's doing, he's mixing up his pitches.
There's one that's going to left field. Had some power on it, but not enough to go near the fence. So that's a out there. First out for the Eagles.
Yeah, like I was saying, right inches, he's mixing up his pitches right now. I mean, he throws a consistent fastball. He hits, I want to say about mid-80s, but we don't have a radar gun. High 80s, if anything.
Maybe see if we have a radar gun or something to measure those pitches.
I wish we did. But it's always hard because he just threw, I mean, that's a great breaking ball right there. That really slows down on him, and it's so hard to adjust from going fast to super slow. And so that just really gets to the mentality of a hitter, not knowing what the pitcher's going to be doing next. But you always got to be prepared for a fastball, and if it's a non-fastball and just slows down on you, you just got to be patient and wait on it and then pull the trigger so you can at least get a base hit.
Here's the 2-0. Like that 3-0 with the pitch to the left. And Drew Record has been walked 36 times. And he leads the Eagles. And they walked him, but he leads the Eagles in stolen bases with, or actually he's the second team leader in stolen bases with 13. So a little bit of a surprise they walked him because he's one of those quick-footed base stealers.
But here's the person that leads in stolen bases right here, Evan Gilliam. I mean, as you can tell, he's already quick on his feet. He's always knowing how to stay on his toes and everything. I mean, even his batting stance, he's on his toes. So he's ready to go no matter what. If he gets a base hit, he's automatically going to try and think double all the way. But he's smart enough to know if he can't get there, he won't. But with his speed, he can almost get there every time if it's hit right.
Tags first. Yeah, Gilliam with 20 stolen bases, and he's only been caught twice. It's a fantastic ratio for any player to have at any level. And there's a pop up to the right side. Make sure you have your gloves out, kids. 0-2. There's another foul. Gilliam hits it deep to left center. And catch is made, tags first. Out number 2 for the top of the 4th.
I like how the left fielder called him off, but the center fielder took control of it, and then he just said he got it and ended up catching it. It's always funny if you call it and you don't get it.
Oh, yeah.
Had it like that all the time.
How much of outfield did you play in your high school days?
Just enough to know that it was one of my least favorite positions. But then again, at the time, I played wherever I could play. So
So Rodriguez back up to the plate, 10 doubles and tied for the team lead, 5 home runs with Nellis record. 306 average and another one of the base hitters, and struck out 24 times. So runner on first, a swing and a miss. Can he steal it? Safe. For Gilliam, make that steal number 21.
I couldn't tell if he beat the tag or second baseman lost control of the ball when he slid in.
Looked like looked a little bit like he had beaten the tag there, but regardless of what happens with that, stolen base. It's now 1-2 for Rodriguez. On a 2 wild pitch to even out the count. Here's a 2-2. Make that a full count. I think the award thus far for the most vocal bench of any team in the playoffs goes to the Dyersburg Eagles.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, granted, we haven't seen Montlow State play yet. We haven't had them in the dugout just yet. We'll have them in this next game. But through all the other teams, Dyersburg has the most chatter.
Yeah, but that also shows you how much they look at this more.
Struck him out, and that's the end of the inning. We'll get the rest of Austin's words there for when we are back halfway through this first round playoff game. Bottom of the fourth, the Cougars trying to get some more runs on the board. And they got 2 in the bottom of the second. So Lonsbury faces off, and a huge hit to right side. And caught for the out. What a way to start off an inning with that big hit by Rhett Baldwin.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, this is the point where they're fully warmed up, and they already got the energy to go out and really play ball. It usually takes a couple of innings for that to happen. Even though you got time to warm up beforehand, it's still allowing you to be able to warm up. And now they got their legs warm up, they got their arms warm up, and they got their swing down. This is about a point in the time where you're going to see a lot of, at least a lot of big hits at the very least. But at the most, you'll see. But the bad thing is, at the most, you'll see a whole bunch of ground outs and pop outs, and that's just because they're already ahead of themselves. This is about the point in time where they just need to kind of settle back and learn to just square up the ball and drive through it.
Andrew Carpenter back up on the plate. Wild pitch makes it count 1-2. Here's the 1-2. And it struck him out.
Now batting number 16, the designated hitter, Brock Browning.
And a huge hit to right side. And that'll end the inning for the Cougars. End of 4, 2-0 still for Cleveland State.
Score at the end.
Top of the 5th.
Nellis.
Spencer Thompson and Austin Ray on game 3 of 4 for today's baseball games in the Tennessee Community College Athletic Association 2019 baseball tournament. The half of the games are over, and the matchup is set for the first game of the winners and losers bracket. The Tigers of Chattanooga State will face off against the Motlow State Senators. And for the losers bracket, the Chargers of Columbia State will face off against the Pioneers of Volunteer State for the first game in the losers side of this double elimination bracket. And with the result of this game, whoever loses will be in that second game, either against the Green Jays of Jackson State or against the Bucks of Motlow State. There's a pop up to the right side. It's likely going to go outside the foul line, but the catch is made. So make that 2 outs in the 5th.
Now batting number 38, the first baseman, Tylen Johnson.
Now Johnson up to bat. Johnson up to bat and gets a ball on the first one. Strike one. Count is 2-1. And a fair ball play, just a small grounder and out on first. So only two outs now, and count reset for batter 19, Cameron Berry. He's got a .323 average. And takes the first pitch, lets it go to the outside. Two-0 count. Make that 3-0. And they will walk Berry. To my knowledge, Inch is still on the mound through 5 2/3 innings. Now, Efrain Torres up to bat. And Torres with 33 at-bats gets one sent to right center field. They're going to send their second baseman. That toss completely over third base and hitting off of the dugout. Well, that was a bullet sent back to third base on that one.
And that wasn't even near the dirt. That was close, like more middle of the outfield right there. I mean, he threw that on the dart, just overpowered that throw.
Just overpowered on that, but runners on first and second now for the Eagles. Sent to center field past the second baseman. They're going to send one home. The Eagles will finally get a run. Runners now on first and second again, and first run of the day for the Eagles. We didn't already mention that their bench is vocal before. They are now.
Yeah.
And you can see off of this run, too.
They don't even see this as a team. They see this more of a brotherhood, too. They're all there for each other. They're going to clap for each other. And right now they're giving each other a motivation right now, one hit at a time.
Swing and a miss for 0-1.
Wow.
That's for Kristen Martin. 380 average. 16 doubles, leads the team on that, 3 home runs. And the Brotherhood is giving all of their support right now. Another swing and a miss for 0-2. You can hear the Brotherhood trying to give their wisdom all at once. Here's the 0-2. Grounder. Second baseman slides, gets it sliding. He's safe. Fully loaded bases.
Cleveland State's getting rattled right here. They don't know what to do. I mean, second baseman should have just taken that for himself. He was so close to the bag, but he decided to waste more time on giving it to the shortstop and have him being by the runner. I mean, that's just poor judgment. I mean, poor fielding decision. And really, it could cost them here later on, especially when it comes down to the final inning. I mean, it's already bases loaded, 2 outs, and you got number 6 right now, and he's one of their better hitters. He's one of their leading RBI hitters right now. He is currently second out of the whole team with 5 home runs, and he's just one to dominate this.
And tied for the most home runs with two other teammates. 41 RBI is just behind Evan Gilliam. So now with the fully loaded bases, we'll see if the Eagles can take the lead on this. They do have 2 outs, so all it takes is 1 tag on a base, 1 catch with glove. It's 1-0. Inches with 80 strikeouts in the regular season and has only walked 16 batters. A hit to left center field going back, and that is going to end the inning. It's caught. The Eagles at least get on the board with 1 run, and the Cougars will try to respond in the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Cougars going to attempt to give a response to the Eagles' 1 run at the top of this inning. And the Cougars, of course, still have the lead. And 1 strike. 1 strike for Alex Coulter. .213 average, swing and a miss. He's been struck out 13 times in his 61 appearances.
Spencer, he doesn't have one of the best stats, but I mean, he is one of the most suitable players out here right now. I mean, he is only a freshman, 61 at bats, and only 13 hits. There's a lot of room of improvement, but as of what he's been showing us here today, that he can at least battle at the plate, which is really one of the most important things when it comes to hitting. It's just battling at the plate and fighting off hard pitches, so you can get the pitch that you like. And it's his freshman year. He's already gotten 1 double and 1 home run. So his batting average isn't really that bad if you really think about it as his freshman year. But there's a lot of room to improvement. But he'll be able to make it to where it'll be a higher batting average next year.
And they will toss him out on that one. So 1 out.
Now batting number 26,
And next up is Reed Nelson with a 157 average on 51 appearances. He only has 1 double, but has been striked out 21 times, walked 7. So trying to potentially redeem himself here in the postseason because all these stats just trailing back to the regular season. Swing and a miss for 0-2. Swing and wild pitch. Safe on first. And because of that wild pitch, he advances to first.
Now batting number 4, the center fielder, Tucker Mendenhall.
So now Mendenhall steps up. So now a runner on first base for the Cougars. And Mendenhall, one of their better hitters, out of 145 appearances. He had 51 hits and 3 home runs. Also with 5 doubles and 2 triples. Of course, we already mentioned he's the team leader in steals at 24. Right now he has to worry about getting on base. 2-0. And grounder goes between the first and second baseline and safe.
Wow. There's really nothing you could do right there. It's tough, tall hop for the second baseman to get him. Once he got him, runner was already at first, so really nothing you could do on that.
So base hit for Mendenhall, and Dockery steps up with 55 hits, a 355 batting average. 17 doubles to lead the Cougars, potentially going to swing for the fences to get a double here. Swing and a miss. And 0-2.
Dyersburg's got to pitcher in the bullpen, I believe, is number 27, Matthew Martin. But right now, I don't think they have any considerations of actually putting him in. He just might be warming up just in case something happens.
And Martin with a 10.71 ERA, 19 strikeouts and 13 walks. It goes deep to right field, catch made, and tag first. And runner on third now, so with 2 outs, the Cougars have a chance to increase their lead. And now Jonathan Hickman going to step up with a 399 average. Has 138 at-bats, 55 hits, and 10 doubles. So we'll see if his 594 slugging average can help him out here. Foul. I'm surprised I didn't hear a bunch of chatter from the Eagles after that one.
I think they were just more happy that they kept their heads.
0-1. That 0-2. Oh, 2. And there's a wild pitch and advance to second. So now runners on second and third. Count now 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Foul almost goes into the dugout. One, two. 2 outs. Right side. Another souvenir.
He's been battling here right now. I mean, this is what really coaches prepare you for, is to run up a pitch count and wait for that pitch just so you can drive one out and you can hopefully get a base hit with the runner on scoring position. And if you get a base hit out in the outfield, you can easily score one. But right now he just got to keep battling and wait for his pitch.
And there's it. There it is. Grounder, leap up for the third baseman, toss to first, and that's the end of the 5th inning. 2-1. The Eagles managed to get a score in the top, headed to the 6th. Top of the 6th inning, the Cougars lead 2-1, and the Eagles trying to get some more on the board here. And again, we've still seen throughout this entire tournament thus far, Austin, that the home team has won consistently. The designated home team has won consistently the higher seeds. So we haven't had an upset pulled off yet in this tournament.
No, definitely not. But then again, it is still early, and when it comes to this, it's going to be really the fact of if it's going to happen in the next game. Right now, it's really close, and it's too early to call it, especially with Dyersburg being only down 1. It's going to be a lot. Still a lot of game to play, and there's going to be exciting moments for this game. We've already seen an exciting moment, a couple of them within this whole tournament. Stuff that we haven't even realized we didn't know we were going to see. So it just kind of leads you to, like, you don't know what to expect. So something could happen here. It can also happen next game. It can happen tomorrow or even the championship game.
And there's to left side, out of play.
This is about where the time where also you see hitters, like, not like powerful hitters, they're going to try and do their best to at least show out just a little bit, because this is one of the biggest times that they're going to have as a junior collegiate ball player. And so they're going to really try and help their team out as much as they can. So they're going to expect big hits, great plays, and really you're just going to hopefully you see some phenomenal plays. And who knows, one of these players can also make it big later on in life. So they're already expecting that and hoping that they're going to practice and perform out there just so they can get recognized for what they do and what they love.
Let's make that a even count. So Gilliam trying to get something going here at the start of the 6th. 385. 385 average. Here's the even count. Yeah. Popped up foul.
And just need to be careful if he throws a high one like that, especially with a hitter like this. That is a power hitter. It's going to be trouble, and he might not get the ball back. They do have a right-hander roaming up in the bullpen for Cleveland State too. So hopefully he doesn't make a mistake here.
It's the full count. Yeah, Inches has been strong through 5 innings to only have 1 run while he's been on the mound. And here with a grounder, gets to the shortstop. And just a half second too short.
Now batting number 23, the second baseman, Luis Rodriguez.
So Rodriguez back up. And hits it right to center field. Catch made right off of the first pitch. So make that 2 outs already for the Eagles.
Now batting number 2, the designated hitter, Josh Nellis.
And Nellis with 420 on base percentage has struck out 38 times, but with 8 doubles and a 322 average. One of those base hitters. Faces the 0-1. Grounder. And quick inning with nobody on base for the Eagles headed to the bottom of the 6th. The 2019 Tennessee Community College Athletic Association Baseball Tournament of 2019 is sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, Lister Hill Credit Union, Hampton by Hilton, and Alpha Graphics of Franklin.
Marshall Hernandez.
Hernandez up. Who's been struck out 24 times, but the 289 average managed to get 9 doubles, and there it goes to the left, heading to the wall. Third!
Oh,
almost the third home run hits the wall. He at least gets a double from that, but it just had a slight amount of height from there. Would have been the third home run of the postseason. Managed to get a double there. That was just a great base hit.
First pitch, too. You got to love that.
And they do have somebody warming up in the bullpen for the Eagles. And after a deep hit like that, it may be time to make the switch. Although Lonsbury has been strong through 5 innings. Outside. Baldwin, 245 average. 12 doubles through the regular season, leads the team in home runs. Strike one. Here's the even. It's at left side. It's going to go foul, but he can make the catch. He's got it. First out for the Cougars. Now Carpenter back up.
Now batting number 6, the second baseman.
Of course, got a runner on second, maybe going for the double hit here to tie it up. He has got 9 doubles off of 317 average. So coming up at around 6:45 local time. Still great weather out here as the sun is coming down with a 73 degrees and partly cloudy here at Dave Hall Field in Columbia, Tennessee at Columbia State Community College. Host for the Tennessee Community College Athletic Association baseball and softball tournaments. Softball tournament occurring about not even 100 feet away from us. Having some intense games over there. And a 1-1 count. Just inside for 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Got just under it for a foul. Bottom of the 6th, the Cougars lead 2-1 as the Eagles are warming up another pitcher in the bullpen. And another hit that's gone out of the park, just not within the lines. So you can already tell that Carpenter is swinging for the fences here.
Definitely. I mean, why not? You're 2 strikes out. You're up by 1. You got a runner in scoring position. and you're also just coming from a great base hit that the runner on second just did right off the wall, almost a home run. So he wants to prove that he can hit a home run too. He's done plenty already with 5 home runs within the regular season. So if he does it, I mean, that's just adding on another one for him, but adding on 2 more runs for Cleveland State.
Carpenter with 5 home runs. Just inside for even count at 2 each. The stadium lights have been turned on about 20, 25 minutes ago, and as the sun continues to wind down, we'll potentially see our first, we're likely going to see our first fully immersed night game of this tournament. And pop fly up to the infield and called by the shortstop. Safe on second, but second out of bottom of the 6th.
Now batting number 16, the designated hitter, Brock Browning.
There's low, first strike. Grounder gets to the shortstop, and he is out. Close, but that's the end of the 6th inning. 2-1, the Cougars still lead. Top of the 7th inning.
Eagles, number 38, the first baseman, Kylan Johnson.
Inch is still on the mound. Faces off against Kylan Johnson with a 254 average. Excuse me, 264 average. 9 doubles. Even count. So 3 innings left of regulation, and this is one of the first games that we have not had come close to being over in 7 innings. The one of the closer ones that we've managed to have. At least the lowest scoring game we've seen thus far in the tournament. There it goes to right field. That's a base hit for Kylan Johnson.
Just a great line drive between the, excuse me, the 1 and 4 hole right there. right into the right field. Easy base hit for him to get, and he did a great job of keeping the barrel back and driving the ball.
So now Cameron Berry with a runner on first. So 1-0 count for Berry. A 323 average and 9 doubles. There's a bunt right to the pitcher, and finally decides to settle with getting the out on first.
Now batting number 3, the shortstop. Correction, number 1, the catcher, Efren Torres.
Efren Torres, 212 average on 33 appearances with 1 double. 242 slugging. Runner on second. The catcher just a little bit shaken up after that. Having a discussion with the umpire.
Yeah, he's just making sure he's okay out. He probably pulled some with his leg or something like that when he picked up the ball. I couldn't really tell.
Here's the 1-0. Gets a hit to right field. There's an out and tag second, but just a cannon for an arm from right field.
That's just awesome to watch, really. I mean, line drive from middle of right field and would have still been in the air if the cutoff man didn't get it. That would have been right in the air for third base.
And now Blake McCutcheon will try to get something here for the Cougars in the top of the 7th, dealing with 2 outs right now. Inside for strike 1. And Inches has stood tall on the mound for 6 innings, potentially about to be 7. Start to wonder, they've been warming up a pitcher in the bullpen for a while now. Attempted bunt. 0-2. Grounder goes foul. tie up for 2-2. And a hit to left center
Great
field,
hit.
going deep
Keep
back.
going.
Manages to hit the wall
Ground
and
rule
ground
double.
rule double. So now the Eagles tie it up.
Now batting number 7, the right fielder.
There's some great accuracy on that, and now the Eagles are tied up 2-2. I believe this is the first time of any of the games in the tournament so far where the team that's leading has even been tied or the leads has surpassed them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. I think this is the first time to where like this has been a close game altogether. So it's actually been pretty cool to watch one team coming back after losing in the second inning 2-0. They came back in the fifth, excuse me, and just got another run here in the seventh just to tie it up. So it's been really good to watch and seeing these two teams compete.
Christian Martin has got a runner on second base hoping to take the lead for the Eagles. 380 average, 16 doubles. And a pop-up that's going foul. Will the catch be made? Goes into the bleachers. I'm surprised he didn't try to stand on the fence and reach out for that one.
Yeah, those places
you don't
scary.
take that risk.
Those places are scary.
You only take that risk if you're really confident in it.
It's not that. It's just really if you're because the only bad part about it is you got to keep up with three things. You got to keep up where you are, where the fence is, and where the ball's at. So that's a risky play.
There's a line drive to left field. They're going to send another one home, and the Dyersburg Eagles take the lead. You talk about a good hit right there.
I know. That's just a great hit right there. Line drive right through the 5 and 6 hole. And the speed that the runner had right there just to make it home really got the team fired up. Everybody came out when they saw that, when they saw him score, and they're excited just to get the lead because they know that this is their time to shine when it came from those two losses that they had against Cleveland State. So you know they're out for revenge, and this is one way to get it, and they're doing a great job of it.
And they are finally doing the pitching change. Inches is going to come off, and when we come back. So the next picture on the mound is Brock Browning with a 3.09 ERA, 34 strikes and 13 walks in the team lead of 22 appearances. The sophomore right-handed pitcher is essentially the closer for the Cleveland State Cougars because he's the only one who he's one of the few pitchers who has not allowed a single home run on any of his pitches, and the rest of his team is combined to allow 27 home runs.
It just shows that he's more of a ground ball hitter and he's more of a strikeout hitter. He has 34 strikeouts, and he's looking to place these balls where he feels comfortable with, and that he knows that it'll either jam the hitter or it'll make him hit a ground ball. It's just something to make an easy out for his fielders to play with and make it easier on himself, lowers his pitch count, and makes it to where he doesn't have to do as much.
Line drive between the 4 and 5 hole, and runner on a hit to first and second. So Browning on his third, first pitch looked like. Allows a line drive. His second pitch allows a line drive. Now runners on first and second for the Eagles as they're trying to increase their lead going into the bottom of the 7th. 2 outs. And there's a grounder to third base and a toss over to first. And that'll end the batting game for the Eagles. A fantastic 2-run inning in the top of the 7th. And I believe we have some shout-outs, Mr. Ray.
Yes, we do. We got a shout-out from Dorothy Purnell. She says, Mr. Elm, we hope that you're having a good game. We got a shout-out from Matthew Holmes. He just wants a little shout-out, so shout-out to you, Matthew Holmes. Yanicia Cabrera says that we want to give a shout-out to Christian Martin all the way from Miami. Keep balling out, and that we love you. Mariam Borges says, shout-out to Marcia Hernandez. And that is all the shout-outs that we have today. If you ever want a shout-out, you can always tune in to one of our games, so you can give a shout-out to one of the players that are playing, or you can just have a shout-out for yourself.
The 2019 Tennessee Community College Athletic Association Baseball Tournament is sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, Lister Hill Credit Union, Hampton by Hilton, and Alpha Graphics of Franklin. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Eagles took the lead in the top and trying to keep the Cougars from taking it back. So there's strike 1 for Cleveland State's Alex Coulter. The catcher now facing the 0-2. And Lonsbury has stayed on the mound for the Eagles through 6 innings.
He has stayed on the mound this whole time, but if you look over to their bullpen, they actually got 2 right-handers warming up right now. And one could possibly be a relief pitcher and one could be a closer. Or they're just trying to figure out which one they want to put out there if anything needs to happen for number 17.
Yeah, Lonsbury has held strong to only 2 runs for the Cougars. Here's down and a hit to right field. Catch made, first out.
Now batting number 26, the right fielder, Reed Nelson.
Nelson steps up a 157 average on 51 at-bats. He has 8 hits and only 1 double, so not as many at-bat appearances he would hope for. He's a 1-0 here. Swing and a miss. Two and one count for the Hendersonville native. The on-base percentage 306 batter. Faces the 2-1 pitch. Fouls it out to even up the count. And another foul out to the left side. Foul heads out there almost to the bullpen. 2-2. Not only is it the first time in the tournament that a strikeout there, not only is this the first time in the tournament thus far where the away team has come back from being down. This is also the first time where an away team has had the lead at all throughout this tournament. And of course the home teams are the higher seeds in the tournament, so people could probably expect that, but we may see our first upset here. The 1-0 count. We may see our first upset with the Cougars being sent to the elimination bracket. Of course, there's still plenty of baseball left. But the Cougars are down by 1 right now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Make that a 3-0 count. They're still warming up 2 pitchers in the bullpen for the Eagles. Here's the 3-0. Then down the middle for 3-1. Low, and they send the Mendenhall to first base with a walk.
Now batting number 15, the left fielder, Lance.
And it's going to be this is the mound. Looks like we are going to have a pitching change. At least that's what it looks like. But meeting up on the mound with the infielders. So just a quick visit to the mound. And They elect to keep Lonsbury up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. So Dockery, 355 average. One zero. Strike called.
Wow. A lot of people thought that was the ball. Even I thought it was,
Yeah,
too.
it was a close call there.
Yeah.
1-1.
That's where framing as a catcher works to your benefit at times. That's a strike.
That's 1-2. Runner on first leading off. Here's the 1-2. And grounder, diving catch by the second baseman, and out. That is the end of the 7th inning. A 3-2 lead for the Eagles. The bullpen going crazy.
Burning out, burning out.
Top of the 8th inning, 3-2. Only 2 innings left. Not going to have any chance of a mercy rule in this one unless, by a miracle, somebody gets 10 runs. 1 inning. So Browning up on the mound. Rodriguez at the plate. Faces a 2-0 count. Browning has only walked 13 batters, struck out 34 of them. And foul called there, and Rodriguez twisted a lot with that. Just having a laugh on home plate about that one. Two and 1 count. Dyersburg looking to make the upset on the higher seeded Cougars from Cleveland State. So goes to right field, first out.
Now batting number 2, the designated hitter, Josh Nellis.
Justin Nellis, 332 average, 420 on base percentage. Gets a ground ball foul. One and one count. Fouls for 1 and 2. It's a deep right field going back towards the wall. Catch made before it can get there.
Now batting number 38, the first baseman, Kylan Johnson.
.264 average for Kylan Johnson out of 125 at-bats going into the playoffs. Got 2 doubles and a triple. To 352
Everybody
slugging
thought that was a
average.
strike, and he even shook his head like he didn't like that pitch, and he got lucky enough for it not being a strike.
There's a grounder, immediate out, and no score for the Eagles this inning. They still have the lead 3-2 over the Cougars.
For the Eagles,
Bottom of the 8th inning, 3-2. This can potentially be set for the first game of the tournament that goes to the full 9 innings if the Cougars cannot get any score here. If the Cougars get 1 run, it's at least guaranteed to go to full 9 innings, or if they don't score. So 0-1 count for Hickman. So for the Cougars, what's the game plan here? Since you've got 6 outs left. What is the game plan for the Cougars to try and get back in this? What do they need to focus on?
Really, right here, I mean, with it being so close and six outs left, 6 outs left still. Sorry, I thought that was strike 3. Really, the game plan is just to keep your head up, and you're just going to have to keep battling right here. And there's room. I mean, there's still technically a lot of game left when it comes to those 6 outs because a lot of damage can be done. They've already made scored 2 while in 1 inning, and they did that with over 6 players. So, I mean, there is a big possibility that they can do it. It's just a matter of fact of how well they're going to keep their head up and how well they're going to put that barrel through the zone. So, it's really just depending on them on how well they're going to hit the ball and make sure that their defense is still operational and make it to where that they can still make the easy plays and make the hard plays look easy. That's what they need to do, and that's what they need to focus on. So,
Ground ball, scooped up, out 1. Now 5 more outs. 5 outs left for the Cougars to tie it up or take the
Now
lead.
batting number 34, the first baseman, Marshall Hernandez.
And Hernandez steps up, the man who's gotten 33 hits, 9 doubles, and has stolen the most bases. Probably the strategy here to get him on base so he can get in position to score. Unless, of course, he sends one deep. It's 0-2. Swing, and although it's a strikeout, won't get to first. Make that 4 more outs. Make that potentially 4 more outs on Cleveland State's winners bracket chances.
The third baseman, Rhett Baldwin.
And now Baldwin, 245 average.
they got one of their biggest hitters up here too, because he leads the team in home runs and second RBI. Excuse me. So I mean, they're gonna have a lot of difficulty pitching around him because he knows how to really take pitches and knows how to hit opposite side of the field, and he could take one deep if you don't be careful with them and hang and breaking ball.
2-0 count. That's strike 1. For those of you looking for the Green Jays and the Bucks game, the first pitch of that is set to start at 7:30, but because of this game, obviously in the bottom of the 8th, it won't start directly at 7:30. They do have to clear off the field and get it all prepared for that game. So once this one finishes, the timer will start and give about 30 minutes for them to start that game after the conclusion of this one. So likely somewhere around maybe 8 o'clock, 8:15 is when we'll get first pitch for the Motlow State Bucks and the Jackson State Green Jays. And the Green Jays, the interesting thing about them, especially coming up in that game, is they are the only team that has dealt a shutout in this tournament thus far. All the other games have been both teams have at least scored, whether it's to the last bit or not, as it's a strikeout there. Bottom of the 8th, heading to the top of the 9th. We will see the first game go to the full 9 innings, assuming that the Eagles don't score 9 runs. And headed to the top of the 9th, 2019 Tennessee Community College Athletic Association Baseball Tournament is sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, Lister Hill Credit Union, Hampton by Hilton, and Alpha Graphics of Franklin. final inning for the Eagles and the Cougars. Eagles lead 3-2, but trying to put some more onto their lead so they can move on to have a date with either the Green Jays or the Bucks. We'll have that game here for you once first pitch starts. Grounder right back to the pitcher's mound, ruled foul. The umpire just having a talk with the pitcher, having a little bit of a chuckle. And the count is 0-1. So Browning's still up on the mound for the Cougars. Likely to be their closing pitcher unless the Cougars force this to overtime. Now 1-2 the count. Cameron Berry trying to get something going. Tries it there and it's ruled a strikeout.
Now batting, number 1, Ephraim Barnes.
So a 1-0 count for Efrain Torres. He's got a 212 average. Count 1-1. Grounder right back up to the pitcher. Tosses it over. Second out. And the Eagles' hopes of getting more cushion onto their lead is down to 1 out, and what could potentially be the last time that they bat in the winner's bracket, depending on what the Cougars can respond with in the bottom of the ninth. So now McCutcheon, strike one. McCutcheon has a .331 average. That pitch outside for 1-1. Swing and a miss for 1-2.
That's always been the problem with high fastballs. It's eye level, and the hitters see it more than they do with it being actually in the strike zone. So they always, more than likely, always swing at that pitch.
It's a piece of that. And the Eagles have had more hits than the Cougars, comparison of 7-6. They've had one error, but still managed to take the lead here as it goes deep to right, and he'll take it just to first base.
You know, that's a great job of staying back. That's what they mean by staying back. You're staying back, you're holding, and you're holding your swing, and then when you find the right time, then you swing forward, and that was just more of a little poke. That's what they call it, and just got as a blooper into right field, and it worked out in his favor.
So now a .380 average in Kristen Martin, and takes the hit pitch and advances to first. Now a runner on first and second, and the Eagles, if they can get some more damage done here, even if they've got 2 outs.
Now batting, number 6.
They could do a lot of damage with 2 outs, really. I mean, most of the games that we've been commentating here, I mean, we've been seeing a whole bunch of 2-out runs going on. So right now, it's not unusual seeing it as of right now. But really, at this point, if they get it going right here, it's going to be really hard for Cleveland State to come back and win it.
Now Record up on the plate with the runner on first and second. It's 1-0. So 1-0 count for Drew Record. Let's make that 2-0 with his teammates on first and second, trying to increase their lead and make it more difficult for the Cougars to try and win this game. Strike one. And got a piece of that for 2-2. If you're a manager in this situation, Austin, are you going for the base hit, or are you just swinging for the fences to get as many runs as possible?
Right now, I'm shooting for base hits. Those are more reliable than trying to hit one over. And if you're trying to win this game, and even if it's by one, base hit is going to be the one to do it for you. Really, to me, base hits is the full cake, and hitting a home run is just the icing. You're showing off. I feel like people show off a little too much when they hit home runs, but for this sport, it is a team sport, so each hit is a perfect example of letting your team bat around and you getting those hits instead of trying to win it for yourself.
Struck out, and bottom of the ninth, we'll see if the Cougars can stay in the winner's bracket as a higher seed or if the Eagles will pull off the first upset of the tournament. Final half inning of the game. Eagles lead it 3-2. The Cougars only need 2 runs, and they win it.
and one to go into extras.
Just one run if it's going to be forced into extra innings. There's one game after this. So here we go. Strike one. And the Eagles still put their faith in Lonsbury. He has played the full game thus far. And he's facing off against Andrew Carpenter with coming into this game a .533 slugging.
Yeah, I think the reason why they're keeping Lonsberg in is because they want him to have a complete game in this tournament, and especially on at least his stats. But another thing is why I believe that he's still in there is that he's only had one bad inning where they only scored 2 runs. Everything else he's had shutout innings. So that might be a reason why they're keeping him in. And he's not walking a lot of people, and he's still producing strikes like he's supposed to be. So as long as he's still doing that and he's getting the outs like he needs to, they're going to keep him in as long as he wants until they realize if he's getting too tired. Of course they'll take him out. They want to save him. They don't want him to get hurt, but they're really just going to try and keep him in the game as long as they can, and that will also save their pitchers for any other situations that come into play later on in this tournament.
2-2. Got just a small piece of it to make it foul. Two and two pitch. Gets a hit to right field. Catch and 1 out. The Eagles are 2 outs away.
Now batting number 16, the designated hitter, Brock Browning.
Strike one. So Browning switched to the DH, 34 appearances, .265 average with 1 double. Strike two. Been struck out 7 times, walked 6 times. Again, nobody on base at the moment. And
That second pitch that Browning looked at for a strike, those are usually the ones that people love to hit, especially me when I was playing. I mean, those were the ones that you could pull and the ball's going to go with your bat, and it's just going to take off usually at those times. So I'm shocked it didn't hit that.
set and strike out. 1 out away from pulling the first upset of the tournament. But of course, all it takes is 1 home run, 1 regular run to send it to extra innings. And putting their faith in Alex Coulter, who is a .213 average. He's been struck out 13 times, 61 at-bats, and gets a hit to right field. It is a base hit. So he'll stay safe on first. And the Cougars at least have 1 runner on base.
Cougars need to play it here smart because they don't want a bad play while running. And that's not a way to end off a game is by an error or something like that. So they need to focus on what they're going to do, have a little game plan while they're at it, and there's pinch running.
Pete Williams coming into first base. They're having a defensive change.
He's had 2 stolen bases and he's only gotten caught stealing once,
Number 1, Pete Williams.
but
Pitch hitting for the Cougars, number 14.
but
Or
can be really quick on his feet.
So Pete Williams, the designated runner, and up to bat is 14 Caleb Hopkins with a 271 average, and he has 16 hits and 8 doubles. We'll see if the Cougars can get something going here. Ball 1.
Spencer, what's weird to me is that Dyersburg still has 2 pitchers in the bullpen right now with only 1 out.
Yeah, Dyersburg, they've got both their guys in the bullpen right now. I guess they're focusing on potentially going to extra innings and keeping their guys loose. And a hit to center field. And for the first time in this tournament, the Eagles have pulled off the ultimate upset and have a date with either the Bucks or the Green Jays tomorrow.
Gotta give it up for Lonsberry on that too during his first complete game and his junior collegiate playoff game too. He's done a great job on the mound. He really kept with his teammates, and his teammates stayed with him the whole time. It was pretty amazing to see him work and do his job correctly. So give it up for Lonsberry on that. And we will see them tomorrow as well as Cleveland State.
So looking at the bracket results, the Dyersburg State Eagles, they will advance to play tomorrow night at 7:30 against either the Jackson State Green Jays or the Motlow State Bucks, and that game is coming up in just a moment here on the same YouTube channel. First pitch for that is in about 45 minutes, so we will see you guys in just a little bit.